And another night of technical problems and a bit late. This is, however, your friendly voice speaking to you on behalf of STC. It's the final race of the season. We're at Virtual Le Mans, and happy, good late Thursday evening to you all over the place. Hope you're still with us. Hope you stuck it out there. Hope you're still keeping your fingers crossed for your team, because this is indeed the final race of the season. With me, as usual, drenched in sweat due to covering all these technical problems, is Jose Estrada. Hello, Jose.
Hello, Eckhart, and welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, jungle is nice. You seem to be cheerful, though, but it's kind of a nightmare season, isn't it?
Yeah, difficult, really difficult season. But at the end, well, we are here, and that's the important thing, and things can only be better in the future, so let's try to enjoy this race, and let's hope everything goes.
Yes, and we have a well-deserved holiday after this race. As I said, it's the last race of the season, which brings me straight to the topic. Which track are we on? It's Le Mans. Le Mans in the current version, that is the exact same layout that is run this weekend at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. However, it will only be, of course, a 90-minute race, and you will only see the GT cars, no prototypes here, because this is a GT series. So, let me put you in the picture about the qualification times so far. We have 6 minutes to go before the race starts, and we find Mike Simian for the team FlatOut in position number 1. At this point in time, though some of the players are still on the track doing their laps, and it's a 00641 for him, Mike Simian in the Vertigo with, I have heard, new colors tonight, and I hope that they show on our screen as well. They don't do on mine because I didn't have time to download the proper skins, but I hope they're on PSR TV. And then in position number 2 is Kaukola and Haba for you, for the team Roaring Pipes Maniacs. He's at the wheel of the black edition of the Roaring Pipes Mania Smart Course Marcorelli tonight. And position number 3 for his teammate Rami Kaukola. And Haba also stayed just below 4:01, while Kaukola was at a 4:01.477. Then Robin Johansson, that's the best qualification result, I should say, for the team Danielsson Motorsports 2 of the season. He's in 4 with the BMW Z4. That's a track here that seems to suit this nimble little racer. Roland Jernström, your one and only champion here for the Danielsson Motorsports in position number 5. They've been complaining about missing top speed on the straight, and of course with a straight like the Unadière here, the Ligne Droite des Unadières, this massive long straight with 2 chicanes in it. The missing high speed or the missing speed on the straight here for the Ford GT, of course, is difficult to overcome, and he's down in 5. Well, down. He's up in 5 in 4:02.225. Mikko Korkiakowski for the team DHR Simcraft, defending champions in 6. Johan Peisula, second of the Danielsson Motorsports team 2 in 7. Joko Gorenk, who started his STC career in the last race at Spa, did a great race there for DHR Simcraft, is back with you in 8. And then Johannes Norberg, the first of the nimble Ultima, who actually scored a victory this season, if you remember, at Sugo. He's in 9 for the Black Visor Motorsports, and then the second of Danielsson Motorsports in 10. That's Frederick Tuckman for you. Grid tonight is well filled. We have 24 players on the grid. Team Amy Dagan only field 1 racer, and there's also a second racer missing here. I think that one of the FlatOut Club racers, that would be David Clark for you, is still trying to join the server, but actually has encountered some problems. He was on the server before, but I saw him drop out just as I got on. So, that brings me to the track. It's Le Mans. I don't really have to say very much about Le Mans. It's, I think, basically everybody who's just interested a wee bit in racing, be it sim racing or real-time racing, is, of course, knows this track. We all know it's got one of the longest straights in the history of motorsports, and this straight today in the layout, as I said already, has these two chicanes in it because the huge prototypes that race at the 24 Hours of Le Mans would actually take off, because they'd be too fast on that long straight. And also the layout, which is called the Koers Dunlop, this the layout following the famous Dunlop tires spanning the track right after the start. That's the new layout here that you'll see, which has been in use, I think, for about 4 or 5 years, and especially I've heard that the motorbikers like it very much indeed as compared to the old one. It's part of the permanent track here at Le Mans, the Bugatti track, whereas the track we're racing is the track that's only on for the couple of times a year that we need to have this long track here. Well, Le Mans, the real race is on, which also means that my famous and favorite co-commentator Andreas Hultgreen can't be with me tonight because, lucky chap, he's in real life Le Mans watching the race unfold there, and he's already seen the qualification, I hope. And Andreas, if you're somewhere out there online, we dedicate this race, of course, to you. We also dedicate it to somebody else because our all-time favorite race director David Garcia will actually be on the track tonight for the first time this season, nimbly fitting into one of the Corvettes for the Black Rebels, his team, and he actually had a connection problem, him of all people, and he's right now doing hopefully his qualification lap, and hopefully he can still put in a time. David Clark, I see on the server, is back as well. Ooh, well, talked a lot already. Shall say, give me an inkling of what the viewers are actually watching on their screen while I continually here look at the timing screen. Well, just the race intro as usual, the track layout, some pics, so the same things you were talking about. Oh, brilliant. Picture of the overall standings, has that been done already, or do we have it still in the offing?
Yes. No, we have the overall standings. So we them now.
Yeah, brilliant. Danielsson Motorsport Virtual, almost certain to clinch the team title here tonight, and that's of course the title that's all important. We don't even count individual drivers' points here because it's a team championship, because we strongly believe that a good team is what sim racing is all about. Gives you the kind of personal touch that otherwise, if you're just an individual racer, is definitely missing from the game. Danielsson Motorsports Virtual, they are at 364 points with 4 wins to their credit and 61 points clear of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, who, I said this at Spa already, certainly had a very difficult season here. 2 victories being taken away from them by armchair decisions, or as the Germans would say, at the green table. The Black Rebels down in 356 points clear of of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, and at this moment I see we're going into the race session. So the grid will now be loading, and Vicente Garcia, the brother of David Garcia, will actually do the pace car tonight. And well, going on here with the rundown quickly then, Danielsson Motorsports Virtual 2 in position number 4. Just 10 points away from the Black Rebel, so that's a fight to watch out for. And DHR Simcraft defending champions down 41 points in 5, down another 11, really close. Black Visor Motorsports, there's your second fight on the grid to watch out for. Third fight coming round, it's FlatOut Racing in 7, just 8 points away from the Black Visors. And then the Blue Flag Racing in 8, 33 points away from FlatOut Racing, so fat chance they'll catch up to them. However, they have Project D hot on their heels, just 11 points away in position number 9. DHR Apex, 13 points clear in 10. Another 10 points, that's also close here to Course Online, the new team, in 11. And then the FlatOut Club, the nimble Syraccos in 12, and Amy Dagan bringing up the rear, but nevertheless still with us in 13. And tonight it's Michael Hart-Jones time here for Amy Dagan on the grid. So then, people are joining, people have joined, pace car is on the grid as well, and any minute now the intro lap will begin. Chaussee, I suppose, a good time as any to join the grid.
Yep, exactly, Eckart, and is where we are. Well, say hello to the audience, because I'm at the commentator's room.
Yep. So, this is our grid here. You can see Mike Simian for the FlatOuts in position number 1, and this is Vicente Garcia slowly creeping up the grid, and we're still waiting for the sim where the pace car actually sits in front of the grid at the start of the race. And here goes Garcia, and here goes the grid. Simian taking a little while there, everybody waiting for Simian to start, and now they get rolling. He obviously had just a little problem there. Well, we don't have a full lap now behind the pace car, because that lap at Le Mans is just so long. What we'll do is we'll the pace car will leave the track at Mulsanne, which is the turn at the end of the long Unadier Straight. And from then on, the race is open. Nobody, and I say this loud and clear, nobody is allowed to overtake in front of or before they reach Mulsanne corner. And sadly, I've just seen on the screen that both the Black Rebels and the Blue Flag Racing have been hit by the bug, and we've already dropped both Monsieur Gregory Digrave and my teammate Krista Larsson. Well done, FlatOut Racing, as I said, new skin here, the Game Racer skin. It's these guys produce race seats where you can install your wheel and your screen and everything in a very sturdy metal frame. And they've been on the market for some time, and FlatOut, as of next season, will be called FlatOut Game Racer Team. And so congratulations to them for securing this contract there. And Chaussee, my question, just to make sure the viewers, do they actually see the new and really brilliant dark blue and yellow skin as we follow Mike Simian here across the circuit?
Yes, they can see the new livery for them with their new sponsor. I also want to congratulate them, because it's really difficult to develop your own team in sim racing. It's really difficult to find the sponsors, and I'm happy for them, and I really hope STC help them in any way to achieve that. I will be very happy if they consider that STC helps them to develop to this new level.
Totally agree, and I suppose that PSR TV time certainly helps. If you're out there, if people can actually watch you play the game, and also it helps, of course, that they have fantastic players here. Mike Simian, one of them, he scored a victory at his home track in Donington, and he looks all set and ready to score another victory tonight. However, he does have very strong competition from the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, who, I don't know how, but I certainly feel they deserve a win here to kind of make amends for the 2 wins that have been taken away from them. However, I must say that these decisions were strongly debated on the forum, but at the end of the day, there was a democratic process. The war system which has nothing to do with, of course, going to war, but that's the way we call our system of achieving democratic decisions here.
Sometimes it was Sometimes it was like going to war.
Yep. Indeed. From time to time, one of the staff had to post one of these, okay guys, white flag out, posts on the forum. But let's concentrate on the race now. They're quickly approaching the second of these chicanes, which is turn number 8 here on my track layout. And after that, it's just a little bit uphill, and then downhill with a slight left-hand kink, and then it's Mulvan corner for you. The field looks all nice and evenly spread out, at least to me, so I don't think there's anything getting in the way here of a nice, clean start at Le Mans. Mulvan approaching fast. It's just downhill from here on. Track mod looking great as ever. French road signs and everything. And now you can see the pace car swerving to the left hand side, or going straight on for that matter. And remember, no overtaking allowed before the car turns or crosses the apex here of that turn, and off they go. The race is open, Mike Simian, and the first overtaking maneuver is underway with Danielsson Motorsport's 2 racer, Robin Johansson, trying to get past Christian Haba in the Roaring Pipes Maniacs car. Sorry again, that's not Christian Haba, that's Rami Kaukola. And also in the front, we see how Mike Simian has to defend against and that is Christian Haba there in 3, and a DHR Simcraft racer going wide but rejoining. Lucky for him, unlucky for the guy behind him, who obviously had to step on the brakes there. But it's Mike Simian still in front after an eventful first rundown here towards Virage Indianapolis and Virage Danaz. We're now into the famous Virage Porsche combination, which is a flowing combination here of left-handers, right-handers, left-handers, and you're going uphill at the same time. So into the first one they go. That's turn 13, then out again into turn 14, 15, 16, and 17 will bring them to another straight, which then ends in the chicane leading up to the start and finish scenario. Simian now a bit clear of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs racer, and Johansson has secured position number 3. Haba on the grass here, just a little, but still in control of what he's doing, and the 4 in front have pulled a little gap to that DHR Simcraft racer who was in trouble earlier. Simian now going into the very tight chicane, just in front of start and finish, and now he's out on the start and finish straight, and it's the end of the first lap, which has been, of course, only a half lap, but I've just got a message here from my teammate Krista Larsson on the screen, and unfortunately he had to drop out of the race, and it was not a server-related problem, it was Steam for a change that caused the problem, and he's still trying to figure out why that was so. And greetings to Krista from here. Really, really bad luck, mate, and we're missing you already. However, Christopher Larsson, that's his son, in fact, is still on the track with the red blue flag racing car. Simian still in position number 1, followed into one of the Course Dunlop turns here by Christian Haba in 2. That's the black RPM car for you. Robin Johansson with the green BMS V2 car in 3, and then Rami Kaukola in 4. And already, for example, Kaukola is just a tad too far away for slipstreaming. It's only Johansson who's in the slipstream, and he's actually trying to get past here as they approach the first of the chicanes. He's on the inside, and he is easily past Haba. Haba tries to get in as close as possible to do the same trick all over again on the next long stretch. He tries to get into the slipstream. They are out now of the second chicane, and watch it. Haba is definitely in the slipstream. He's really close. We can see Johansson not desperately, but definitely trying to get Haba out of the slipstream, but here goes Haba. He must attack on the left-hand side, and that's what he does. He gets out of the slipstream, he tries to move past too far away, he gets back into the slipstream, and now maybe he's trying to do something in the brake zone, but he can't. It's quite apparent that BMW certainly does have that little bit extra power on the straight that the Marcos Marcorelli is supposedly missing here. Yeah, look at that gap here of the four guys in front before we do the first of our rundowns. These four are playing in their own league at this moment in the race. Simian in front, Johansson in 2 now after that overtaking maneuver, and then both of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, Haba in 3, Kaukola in 4, and then a gap to Mikko Korkiakoski, which brings us to position number 1 of our rundown. He is in 5 for DHR Sincraft, and followed by the second of the Danielsson Motorsport's 2 BMWs. That's Johan Peisula for you, lights on in typical Le Mans fashion. Peisula here, approaching Virage d'Indianapolis, and then Arnage, and out they go, and that's Arnage now. That's a really tight kink here, 90 degrees, and out they go onto the straight leading up to Porsche. At least for me, playing this game, this is the nicest part of the track. I really love that, getting out of Indianapolis, getting out of Arnage, and then just streaming into these Porsche turns, which kind of have a really nice rhythm, left, right. So if you've never played the Le Mans track in any of the sim racing sims that are out there, just get a copy tonight and try it. It's a really great track to play on. Anyway, Peisula in 6 for you, and in 7, Jocko Gorench of the DHR Simcraft under heavy attack by Roland Jenström, trying to lug that Ford GD40 across the straight, and of course he has to do something in the turns, and that's what he's trying to do at this point. He has to somehow get past Gorench, because I don't think he stands much of a chance on the straights. However, the Porsche is also notoriously slow in this mod if it's down to the straights. Gorench in 7, and as I said, Jenström in 8, and Johannes Moberg for the Black Risers with 1 victory to their credit here in the series in 9, and it's quite amazing what they have to which results they've taken this small racer, the Optima, which can actually buy. I was quite surprised to hear that from David Garcia when we were doing the first broadcast of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and I love going out to buy one. I've got family, but if you don't have like a 25-year-old student, have too much money, go out and buy one of these. They look really nimble. Anyway, Moberg in 9, Frederick Tuckman in the white banner Danielsson Motorsports Team 1 Ford in 10, followed by the first of the Apex cars here, Juri Braham, well known from the race department's series, the GT series for example, and he is in turn followed by Christopher Larsson, Blue Flag Racing, who is sitting pretty right in front of the first of the 2 Kogotti brothers, and it's Ludovic Kogotti in that massive, beautiful blue, white and red Celine for Project D. And getting out of the turn now, Kogotti trying to take as much speed as possible, trying to get into the slipstream, but that Beamer is pretty good on the straights. At least that's my experience here, so I think Larsson should be able to fend off Kogotti. I don't think Kogotti has a chance to get into the brake zone here as they approach the second of the chicane. Nope. But it's Gregory Kokoty in position number 14 who has pulled off just that trick that his brother apparently wasn't able to do. And he's in 14 and has just gotten past the green version of the Ultima, of the Black Visor Ultima. That's Richard Norgrain for you. And following Norgrain in 15, I can already see my trusted online mate David Garcia, race director par excellence, and carrying the Black Rebels flag all alone here ever since Monsieur de Greef had to leave the game. So Garcia for you in 16, that's through Lausanne and out on the next straight. In 17, David Clark for the FlatOut Club. And they're in the racer that you're most likely to see downtown or on the highway or wherever you are with your private car the next time, because that's the Scirocco for you, of course, in the souped-up race version here. Then Carl Dubois for the DHR Apex in the massive Aston Martin, the most tail-happy racer here in this grid at least. You got to really carefully put down the throttle as you exit the turns. Tom Ilsbrooks for the team FlatOut, who are leading the race in 19. Ilsbrooks, the first of the course online races, Rocco Migliorino in 20. And then Michael Hart-Jones for Amy Deggan in 21 in that Seat Cupra, followed by Ken Bell. So both of the FlatOut Club still in the race, which is great because they had problems in qualification and they're still with us. 22 racers still on the grid. We've lost 2 races already, and so say I think we should rather quickly go back to one and catch up on that fight at the front.
Now.
And we're with P1, Mike Simian, who at this time already has what I would call a very comfortable lead indeed. He's just exiting the Course Dunlop and approaching the Virage du Tête Rouge, which then sends him out onto the Unadière. And I'm simply counting down the seconds here from the time he hit the apex. And it's 5 seconds, about 5 seconds lead to Robin Johansson, who is clearly having a handful here, defending against the 2 Roaring Pipes Maniacs players just behind him, defending against Haba in 3 and Kaukola in 4. And Simian is out on the Unadière, approaching the first of the chicanes here. I'm always curious about these houses there on the left and the right, and so say you've been to Le Mans. Is there actually people living in these houses that we see on the left and the right as we approach that first chicane?
Yes, there's people living there, and but when you go to Le Mans, to the race, that zone there is not very easy to get there. Because there are some places you cannot go. We worked a lot the last year to try to go to every corner, and there are places where there is like a security zone, and public cannot go there, not even media. There's people living in that houses, but it's not that they have a crowd around them watching the race. They are pretty isolated.
Yep. They could earn hugely if they put up like little tent in their garden and sell some sausage and beer and stuff.
Yeah. Probably they did in the past. I mean, when everything was less professional and less safe, and you could also cross the circuit,
Well, you could actually do that. Just walk from, just like as in crossing the street, you just look left, look right, and then look left again, and then cross the circuit. That's amazing. Anyway, you were there last year, and will you be there this year?
Yes, I'm going there tomorrow. tomorrow morning I go from here. I have like 1,200 kilometers or something like that. But it worth it.
It definitely is. And you're there doing a job, is it? Taking photographs.
Yes, I go as race department press, so we will try to do something cool to make a good, how to say that in English, you know?
A cool presentation? A cool presentation exactly. On the race department forums.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant.
About the race and the experience in general.
Brilliant. Well, we're with the race, and I suppose we're still with Mike Simian in position number 1. And let's have a look further down the grid. I think there's a huge fight for 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, 6 and 7 is where the music is. It's Mikko Korkiakoski for the DHR Simcraft, defending with everything he has against a strongly pushing Roland Enström. This is more than stalking. This is downright attacking him. And it's the second of the DHR Simcraft racers behind. And now Korkiakoski sliding on the exit of that turn. That should give Enström enough excess speed. But I suppose that Enström just lifted the throttle a little there as he saw Korkiakoski sliding to avoid going into that push if there was further trouble. So Korkiakoski can stay in front actually as they now approach the Dundop part of the course, and Enström trying to take a different line, obviously trying to do something here in these turns, trying to get past. He's touching the apex, sorry, not the apex, the Simcraft racer, my goodness, the Simcraft racer here a little bit, but they both feel in control. And now they're out onto Ina here, and let's see if Enström can stick to that slipstream and then maybe pull a move as we go into the first chicane. Out onto the straight they are. Immediately those houses we were talking about earlier. There they are. Enström very close indeed. Now he pulls out. He pulls out to the right-hand side and he's on the inside. But he lacks the speed. He certainly lacks the speed there. Once he gets out of the slipstream and into the wind, it looks as if that TD40 is actually glued to the track. So here he is again, going into the slipstream again, and this is of course all that Le Mans is about. I wonder what that looks in the rearview mirror of Korkiakoski. Gee, that TD40 must be, you can actually see the grin on Enström's virtual face. And here he goes, out of the slipstream again. Approaching the second chicane, is on the left-hand side now, trying to brake as late as possible, but Korkiakoski squeezes just past. Masterfully defended here by Mikko. And Enström back into the slipstream again. Roland, you gotta be really patient tonight. Mikko Korkiakoski taking exceedingly clean lines. And further down the field, I see that Jaakko Gorenk has not been so lucky. Chaussee, if we can quickly, after these two have passed Mulzane, go to the next couple fighting there. But it's Mulzane first, Korkiakoski through, Enström through, Korkiakoski sliding again on the exit. But let's move down just one position to Johannes Norberg, who is in fact past Jaakko Gorenk. I could spot it just there on the edge of my vision. And no sign of Gorenk. He must have had some trouble in that maneuver there. He's down in 13. Down in 13 indeed, while Johannes Norberg sits pretty in 8, having moved up one position. And Chaussee, we're back with Enström and Korkiakoski.
Yes, I got it, because I think it's really interesting.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Here's Roland Enström, the world champion actually, in a different category of sim racing, but still the world champion. And here's Mikko Korkiakoski from Finland, defending with all he has, and that is a lot. I don't know if you ever raced the guy. If I play on the same grid that he does, I see about, 1.5 seconds at the start. I see his taillights, and that's about it. And the next time I see him, it's lap 15, and I get the blue flag warning, and there he is again. So Korkiakoski here, right in front of Enström. Enström now has to draw back a little, obviously. No chance of him getting very close in these turns, but he might. Oh, look at that slide there by Enström. And that brings him closer again. So both of them really at the limit here, and I wonder how long the tires will actually sustain that speed. So say a wild guess from you, is this a one-stop event or is this a two-stop event for the players?
Well, did not try too much, not too much, not at all. The track, so I don't know how it is with tire wear, but the lap is very long. It's quite easy to make mistakes in this track. I raced the 12 hours of Le Mans at Race Department last weekend. That was a great event, by the way, and it was huge. And I noticed that if you have bad tires in the first chicanes, they are really tricky, and it's very easy to make a mistake there. So I will try to go with the best tires possible. So probably I will do 2 stops. But these front row guys, they seem to never have problems controlling the car. So I think if you can manage it, obviously it's better to do 1 stop. But I think I will go for 2.
Yeah, pit lane is pretty long, isn't it? Because they have to accommodate the 24-hour race. And now Enström, look at that, he is so close. But it's all. He can be as close as he wants, because look at that Porsche. They're pretty much the same speed as they go out onto the straight, but what is missing is that Enström gets that extra kick once he's out of the slipstream, and he's staying right in the slipstream for a much longer time this time round, so obviously learning from the last experience, and now he's on the inside and he touches the wall. Enström touches the wall, he has to go through the grass, and let's hope that doesn't mean the GT40 loses even more speed on the straight after this touch. He was trying to do what he could do, getting past Korkiakoski, but Korkiakoski faithfully stuck to his lines. Very clean move there by Mikko. And then there was no other place for Roland to go but into the wall a little if he tried to avoid hitting Mikko, which of course is gentleman racing at its best. And now Korkiakoski out of Mulvane and Enström out of Mulvane, and I think we have to watch Enström now very closely to see if he actually, I would suppose that was quite a hit, I would suppose he would probably lose half a second on both of the Mulsanne stretches there. Sorry, not both of the Mulsanne, both of the Unadier bits. So I think this is pretty much disaster for Roland Enström, and it might be one of the situations where you actually want to repair the damage in the pits later on as you do your pit stop. Something that takes a lot of time in GTR Evo, as in real life, and so something that players usually try to avoid. And we move down the grid a little, just a little, past Enström, past Norberg, past Tuckman, because this is where the action is at this point, and the action is with Blue Flag Racing defending against the Project B. It's Christopher Larsson sliding into one of the virage Porsche turns here, sliding through the next one, uphill. That's my favorite place on the track actually. And downhill now, and the next one is really difficult. You can also see Larsson with some problems here. It's very difficult not to get carried away in the strictest sense of the word. If you get too far to the outside, which is what just happened to Christopher, it is difficult to turn the car back in. You have to let go of the throttle a little to just make it back onto the line, but he stayed in front of, let's see, which of the Kukotti brothers we have here, Ludovic. He just manages to stay ahead of Ludovic, and if you remember the rundown of the overall standings, this is a clear reflection of the overall standings, because there the Blue Flag Racing are just 11 points ahead of the Project D, and having lost one player already, it's down to Christopher here, keeping the blue flag flying, but he does have two Project D racers to defend against, one of them right behind him, and then the other one waiting there behind Joko Gorenk for the DHR Simcraft. Great lines here by Christopher Larsson, very clean lines he tries to take, obviously also trying to conserve the tires, or conserve on the tires here, and now out of Terre Rouge and out onto the straight, and this obviously is where that huge Celine Mustang should feel at home. This is definitely a car that is great on the final speed. And now they approach the first of the chicanes. Larsson on the brake here, but he doesn't have to play it too hard because Kukotti is at a quite safe distance, which changes drastically as they go out of this turn, and you can see Larsson taking a defensive line here already right at the beginning of this long stretching straight. He has to move back into the correct position for the brake zone now. Kukotti moves with him, but I don't think he can make a move. I think he's too far away, and if he doesn't want to suffer the same fate that Roland Lindström suffered, left back in exactly the same spot, it's a wise decision here by Ludovic to stay behind Christopher Larsson. If I analyze these two different players and these two different races here, the different cars that the virtual cars that they're on, and if I analyze the lines correctly, there's very little actually Kukotti can do to get past. I think that the Porsche turns are really where, I don't know why, the Celine Mustang seems to be a bit better. So let's see if he makes a move once they approach these turns. And in the back there you can see the second Project D racer. They're having just the same kind of fight with Joko Gorenk for the DHR Simcraft. And while we're watching the fight here on DSR TV, let me quickly on my screen go to the top of the grid and tell you what's going on there. But stay tuned to this fight here, which will stay on your screen. And I promised you a quick report from the top. Simian still on top, Johansson in 2, Kaukola in 3, Christian Haba in 4. These two have changed positions. Priscilla safely in 5, Lindström in 6. And he's gotten past Mikko Korkiakoski. It's amazing, but I'm afraid we couldn't show you that. Can't be at all the places at the same time. Norberg in 8, Tuckman in 9, and Christopher Larsson in the Porsche turns here, and no sign of Kukotti being able to get past him, getting from 11 to 10. So say, time for a rundown of the following 13 positions, I would say. Are we with Ludovic in position number 11?
Yes, that is now.
Oh, brilliant, that's what I call teamwork. So, Ludovic Kukotti for you, Project D in position number 11, Joko Gorenk, position number 12 for defending champion DHR Simcraft. I hope they can do something point-wise here, so at least the season ends on a happy note for them after they've had serious trouble all through the season. Grigory Kukotti in 13. And then there is quite a gap to the man himself, David Garcia, pushing that Corvette for all it's worth here. Another question to Jose, you probably know it, will David go to Le Mans as well, possibly in the same car that you go?
Well, that was planned, but David's wife, Loli, that I say hello to her from here, had health problems. She had to take surgery, and she did not recover in time for the travel, so they decided to stay at home and watch the race on TV. That is not that spectacular, but it's safer and will be much better for her while she recovers.
Yeah, it certainly fits in with our Blue Flag slogan, real life first. So all the best to you. What do you say in Spanish? We say Madame in French and Mrs. or Miss in English. What do you say in Spanish?
Yeah, okay. Madame is the same as señora, but it's very serious, you know. Like,
okay.
She's young, so will be chica more.
So Chica Garcia, get well soon, and David Garcia, take good care of her and enjoy that race on the TV. At least you can have all your wine and your crisps and everything safely next to you and watch it from sunny Spain. And that leaves us here with David Garcia, so we move on to David Clark. So from David to David Clark, he's actually pursuing Garcia here, getting closer bit by bit in his yellow Scirocco for the FlatOut Club. 15, David Clark. And then Carl Dubois in 16, and we get there just as he loses that 16th position, having a little problem there in the chicane, but he's obviously trying to recapture it as they approach Mulzan, and the guy who's taken the position away from him is Richard Norgreen, but Norgreen now is back into 17 because Dubois squeezed past there. But let's see how he gets out of that turn, because as I said, the Aston Martin is notorious for being so twitchy as to get out of the turns, and in fact Norgreen can stick closely to the Aston Martin, can stick closely to Dubois and maybe pull it off to overtake him again in the not-too-distant future. So Norgreen in 17, and then Thomas Brooks from Belgium, I think, for the FlatOut Racing in 18. And in 19, it's another Apex racer, and he is struggling as well. He's having a huge fight as well. Here with, that's Yuri Braham for you. And Yuri is fighting with Rocco Migliorino for the course racing in the orange muffler in position number 20. And let's watch Rocco as he passes Mulzan corner. Oh, there, bit of a problem on the braking, but now out onto the curbs, which I think are not that slippery here in this Le Mans mod. And then Ken Bell in 21. Ken Bell for the FlatOut Club Racers. That's the junior team, so to speak, of the FlatOut Racing, and gives especially younger players a chance, or players who haven't been around for so long, a chance to, sniff some real competition here in the STC, and I think it works perfectly. And then we have Michael Hart-Jones, Amy racer, Amy Degan, in fact, this season in the Seat Cupra. He is just now approaching the Dunlop tire. Ooh, that was close, almost sliding into the tires there. And now down this really nice passage of wide swinging turns here, where it's really difficult to find a good balance in your setup for this section. And now he's going wide, he's into the wall, but he recovers with a mighty dent on the left-hand side of his Cupra. And the really bad thing about going into the wall, even if it was just a little incident, the one that we saw here by Michael Hart-Jones, the bad thing really is the straight, because it tends to take away a lot of high speed here on the straights. You're liable to lose something like 5 to 10 kilometers an hour at the end of the day, and that really means you're losing important seconds. Hart-Jones a lap down at this place already. I saw some of the other racers in front of him who are definitely higher up the grid. Well then, that was your rundown here as we approach something like the midway point of the race. Let me give you a quick check here on the timing screen. Yep, 50 minutes to go on the timing screen and a quick rundown of the times. It's Mike Simian in front, 17 seconds away from Robin Johansson, who is only 1 second away from Rami Kaukola, so that's definitely the height, I should say, where our cameras should be. Positions number 2 and 3. Christian Haba, 7 seconds away from Kaukola. Another second check, 7 seconds. Slow down, Mr. Finland. Another 7 seconds. Johan Pesula away from Haba. And then Roland Enström, 8 seconds away from Pesula, followed by Korkia Kosti, 3 seconds away. 5 seconds to Norberg. 1 second only to Tuckman. And 5 seconds to Larsson, 0.6 seconds to Kogwati, that's the closest battle here, between 10 and 11. Second of the Kogwati brothers has gotten past Yoko Gorenk, so Gregory now in 12, another second away. Another second away, Yoko Gorenk, and then Carl Dubois is down 20 seconds. Oh, sorry, 30 seconds in 14, and then it's the rest of the grid there. And let's have a look here. They're all in one lap, all but Michael Hart-Jones, who is a lap down in lap number 7, and with 50 minutes on the clock. Everybody seems to be waiting for the first stop here, so it's definitely a one-stopper at Le Mans. So I've been at the timing screen, and which car are the viewers following on their screens?
Flying Fin in P3. A lot of flying fins, by the way. They used to fly.
Yep. Flying Fin in P3, Rami Kaukola, one of the fastest guys out there in the white Roaring Pipes Maniacs racer, and he is definitely stalking Mr. Robin Johansson for the Danielsson Motorsports Team 2. It would be by far the greatest success of the season for the Danielsson Motorsports. The best place so far was a 4th place, somewhere along the line, and best place for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, of course, these 2 second places which they were handed in these armchair decisions. And Johansson, I think I see that his tires are beginning to wear off here. At least the lines tell me that this guy is really having a lot of trouble keeping his BMW on the track in the fast turns. And then Kaukola gets closer in the fast turns, but as they go out onto the straight, that Beamer is definitely quicker. Out they are, and you can see no sign, oh yes, there he is, a little sign of Christian Haba in the back, and virtually no sign of Mike Simian in front. They're pretty much alone here, and Johansson, look at that, Kaukola, even in the slipstream, he is still half a length away, and I don't think that that is enough to move past. And Johansson here doing some brilliant sim racing, choosing an extremely late break point so that he can stay ahead of Kaukola. The only chance I think that Rami has is that if Johansson just miscalculates a little in the brake zone, he will have trouble in the following chicane, and then Rami can get really close and try to make a move as they exit the chicane rather than going into the chicane. Going into the chicane didn't work for Roland Enström, and I have a doubt whether this works for Kaukola. So if Johansson loses it, for example, here, then Rami would have a chance to get past here, but in this case, Johansson did a perfect example of how to take that second chicane, and they're now uphill a little, and then downhill into Mulsanne Corner, and then they're onto the more curvy part of the track. And Kaukola is stalking him. He is putting the pressure on Johansson, but Johansson stays extremely cool here. However, a little slide there. Again, I would say another sign that the tires of the Danielsson Motorsports Beamer are just a little bit more used than the tires of that Marcos Marcorelli. So let's see what that famous pit stop strategy that the Danielssons have in place. Let's see what that works here for Robin Johansson. We've seen it time and again that these guys win something like 4 to 7 seconds on the pits or in the pits, and that would be too bad for Rami because he is really, really, really close. I wouldn't say he's faster than Robin. I would say they're at exactly the same speed. And now Kaukola tries to move past in Virage Danage. He's on the inside. They're powering out of the turn. It's really close, but into the first Porsche, it's Johansson again, who's got his nose on the apex there first. So Johansson stays up in front, but now it's the next turn, and if Kaukola can draw it out, no, he can't. Definitely that Beamer is just a tad faster, while the Marcos Marcorelli, at least in the hands of Rami Kaukola, is just a little bit better in the turns. Kaukola again here in the turn, getting really, really, really close. He's all over the back of Johansson. Johansson sliding here in that turn and sliding back into the line there just as Kaukola is there, so a little nudge there by Rami. Now he's on the outside and they're approaching those last chicanes before the start and finish, and let's see, Johansson taking a defensive line already, and Kaukola stays. And now Johansson goes into the pits. Johansson into the pits here, so that means that Rami stays out for another lap, which really makes a difference here at Le Mans because you can stay out a lot longer. Simian is out as well too, so Johansson seems to be the first guy actually to go into the pits here. Without my famous pit spotter, Mr. Garcia, I really have to play this by ear here, but I would say Johansson is the first into the pits. And I heard the siren going off in the back there too, and it's the second of the Danielsson Motorsports Racers Team 2, Johan Pesula, and he's also into the pits here at Le Mans, so they both obviously share the same strategy. And I also see another Danielsson racer in the pits, and that is Roland Enström. So we have Danielsson time in the pits while the others stay out a little, and there is the next Danielsson racer. They're all sitting pretty here at Le Mans pit, and that's Frederick Tuckman. And there's all sorts of players coming into the pits now. There's Ludovic Kugorti coming into the pits. His brother and teammate Gregory Kugorti is in the pits as well, as is Joko Gorenk. And we'll see a completely rearranged field as these players leave the pits and go out again. Tom Ilsbrook brought the FlatOut into the pits as well. So there's hardly any players left on the track, I would say. It's about 1/3 of the players in the pits at this point, and they're now all set and ready to go out on the track again. Enström is out of the pits, and as is Pesula, as is Johansson. Johansson is out in 6th. Pesula is out in 7. Then we have different racers, and then Enström is out in 10. Tuckman is out in 11. Kugorti is out in 12. Gorenk out in 13. And the second of the Kugorti brothers, Grigory, out in 15. So position 15 it is for Grigory Kugorti, but I suppose we should move up just 2 positions because there is where the action is, and it's blue flag action again. And there we have it, Christopher Larsson in position 13, and he managed to squeeze just past Joko Gorenk as Gorenk was exiting the pits. And if I read that correctly, it was Larsson in the pits a lap earlier, and then Gorenk very nearly got past, no, the other way around, sorry, and then he got past Gorenk, and Gorenk pitted out a lap later, and but he has been passed in the pits by one of the Kugorti brothers. That is Ludovic Kugorti for UM12. So Larsson used to be just right in front of Ludovic. Christopher Larsson And now he's behind, but is still in position 13, which would be a great result for the team Blue Flag Racing. And on the new tires, Larsson, or on the old tires, I'm not quite sure. I would say though he's been on the pit. Larsson sliding violently here in the second turn as they both run up that hill to Mosing. Some airtime for the team Blue Flag Racing. We've really come to like this BMW over the course of the season. The ride has given us absolutely no problems. Had our ups and downs as well, a couple of disconnects, but mainly it was other trouble. For example, in my race at Hockenheim, I don't know why, still haven't figured that one out. All of a sudden the pit menu didn't function properly. There was a real problem there for me, and I had to leave, even though I think I was up to some like 15th or 16th position at that time. And Christopher Larsson had a blue screen in last race, had to drop out, and we lost Christopher Larsson today due to screen problems. So it's been a kind of up and down season for us as well, but overall I think the feeling of the team is there's absolutely nothing that can separate us from STC. We'll definitely be there in the next season. We'll come back stronger than ever, and I hope with some of the overall technical problems figured out, also that one or two of the racers in our team who have gotten a little distanced to STC, and who am I to blame them, will actually do a bit of a comeback here on the scene and participate in one or two of the races. Really what we think at Blue Flag is that the team event character of this series is what makes it so fascinating for us. There's the discussion on the forum before the race, there's the setups being swapped, there's a discussion of race strategy and everything, and it's really just feeling that you're not alone. You're out there with your team and you're discussing stuff, and also afterwards on the forum discussing the incidents in the race, and mostly we thought it was also a very fair season. We've had something like I don't know what, at Sugo we had a couple more incident reports, but on average I think we had like 2 or 3 incident reports only in a 19-minute race, so that really goes to show how professional and how fair most of the racing that we saw this year was. So say, maybe a little comment from the side of your team, the Black Rebels. Well, will we see you again in the STC next season? I think that question is kind of a bit stupid, isn't it?
Well, not stupid, but obviously we will be here. I think STC staff is separated from the team in some way, but I think TBR race mostly race department, not mostly, only race department championships, and we enjoy more the GT and LMP. So now we have the RDLMS with all the endurance races. That is one of our main goals, because it's really interesting to race in that event with really is where really a team can make the difference, a real team with people that know each other and that work together. And then we participate in some individual championships, like the GTC or the Touring Car Championship. But I think we enjoy more racing the team championship. So STC and RDLMS are our main goals, I think.
Okay. Well then, I think after this comment from the sides of both our teams, let's go back, I would say, to position number 1, because we might see race leader Mikko Korkiakowski pitting in. He's approaching the pit area right now. He's the only guy who stayed out in the first rush here to the pits of the leading racers, of the guys in front of the pack. And yes, indeed, he's into the pits now, and it'll be very interesting to watch where exactly he will get back out onto the racetrack once the others pass him. And Mike Simian, who was down in position number 2, is in the chicane now. The set of chicanes that is just right in front of the start and finish line, and he is definitely past Korkiakowski at this point, so he's back in the lead. Korkiakowski is still in 2, and we see Robin Johansson going into the pits for the second time. Something must have gone wrong at the first pit stop, and I hope this is not a sign that Johansson faces the same problems I had at Hockenheim, mainly problems with the pit menu. And Peisula in 6 is also passing Korkiakowski, so he's up in 5. And I can see Johansson leaving the pits straight away again, so that actually looks like a drive-through penalty, doesn't it? And Johansson gets out of the pits just in front of his big brother. That's Roland Enström, of course not biologically his big brother, but it's team number 1 in that massive Ford GT40. And so it's Enström in 6 and Robin Johansson in 5. And if you remember that Enström for a long time tried to get past Mikko Korkiakowski, even put his Ford into the wall at one point. And now let's see the difference that the pit stop made again for the Danielsson Motorsports racers. Here's Roland Enström in 6. And Jose, kindly move the camera to position number 7. And there he is, Mikko Korkiakowski, down, I would say, 3 to 4 seconds. So Danielsson Motorsports have done it again. They've gained a little time in the pits, as if by miracle. And Korkiakowski for the DHR Simcraft is down in 7, which is still a superb position to be in. And his racer is followed by the second of the Danielsson Motorsports, that's Fredrik Tuckman, who in turn is followed by one of the Black Visors. Okay, pit stops I think have been done for all of the racers. So I think while you stay with the car that you're at the moment, I will go down the grid a little and look for the closest fight. On the way we are to positions number 12 and 13, 2 players we have seen before in this game here. It's Joko Gorenk for the DHR Simcraft in that orange and white Porsche 997 in front, followed extremely closely by Monsieur Grigory Kugoty in position number 13, the perennial unlucky number. Let's hope that it does not bode ill for him, as he is really chasing Joko Gorenk up past Lausanne and now approaching the Virage d'Indianapolis. And we have another racer leading the race. We've had one of the FlatOut Club racers actually retiring from the game, and now also one of the Course Online racers. I think it was Rocco had to leave the server, I think due to damage sustained or due to a pit stop problem as well. And just in front of these two, it's Christopher Larsson, so he's up in 11 due to the people having to drop out and due to the pit stop strategies. And but the fight is on here between Joko Gorenk and Grigory Kugotti. That was smooth for a time, and we'll see where both of these players have their advantages and disadvantages on the track. We're in the smooth and fast turns. Here we can see that Kugotti takes a completely different line to the rank, but it's a line that gives him some really powerful exit speed. They're fast approaching the chicanes right close to the main the pit stop area and the main area here of the racetrack. And Kugotti has to stay behind. There's absolutely no way he can make a move here on Kugotti, though I must say that in the turns that Celine, even though it is quite difficult to handle really when you play the mod, is very fast indeed. But out of the turns, it's Gorek who has a little advantage. They are now, yes, so they have to go off the throttle here. There's another left-hander, and then they're through the Dunlop tire. And in fact, defending from Kugotti has given Gorek some extra speed, and he has moved up and is now stalking Christopher Larsson of the Blue Flag Racing. So with him back on the fray here, I think he had hoped to slip away from these two as they were battling each other, but the opposite is the case. Even though they've been battling, they've been making a little headway here and getting closer to him, and it looks as if he won't be able to hold out against both of them for very long. Let's see how this fight develops here. It's Gorenk in 12, it's Larsson in 11, and it's Kugotti in 13. And now Gorenk moves out as they approach the first chicane, but I suppose that BMW is just slightly stronger on the straights, and so we've seen this time and again here in this race. Really you need a little extra speed if you want to make a move. So Kugotti now is in the very good position that he can wait for one of the two racers in front to make just a little mistake, and then he can attack. Approaching the second chicane here, Gorenk in the slipstream. Gorenk moving to the left, moving to the right, back to the left again. Larsson very late on the brakes, but safely into the chicane, and Kugotti, if I read that correctly, leaving just a little margin in case something goes wrong there in front of his nose so that he can react. And these two are really fighting now. It's Larsson, and he must have that Simcraft Porsche all over his rearview mirror at this point. Mosing, that could be a good place for Gorenk to make a move, but Larsson stays pretty much on the right-hand side, so on the inside here as they approach the turn. And under braking, BMW a bit unstable, and out of the turn, Larsson is definitely slower than Gorenk, because Gorenk was taking a slightly different line and braking a bit earlier, and now Larsson is in real big trouble. There's a slight right-hander now, which Larsson can still stay in front, but obviously I see trouble as they approach the 90-degree kink of Virage de Anzianapoli, which is up ahead now. No, not that one, the one later. This is approaching the kink, and now they're into Indianapolis. But Larsson can stick with it. Larsson can take it all the way to Virage d'Arnage, and then out of Arnage, and Gorenk again very close on the exit of the turns, very close indeed. And Larsson still in trouble. This is a lap he won't forget for a long time. And I hope that tomorrow on the way to work, there's not an orange car behind him in the rearview mirror. It might make him make a sudden move, accelerating somewhere in Sweden where he should accelerate. The Porsches, very clean line here by Larsson, taken just a little onto the curbs, on the brake again here, into the turn, trying to put that power down as soon as possible, and yes indeed, in the Porsche, Porsche by Jocko Gorenk definitely has a little disadvantage to the BMW. It's the tight turns that fit or suit the Porsche or Jocko's style, and it's the smooth turns that more suit the BMW. Ooh, and Gorank here with some trouble as he tries to get as close as possible to Larsson, but Larsson artfully drifts out of that last turn, and there is no way Gorank is going to make a move as they approach the chicane this time, because Larsson is just now 2 or 3 car lengths away, and that should be enough. That should suffice as they approach the first chicane. Gorank can actually go into the slipstream. Von Glan, you were wrong. I don't think he does have enough speed at the end of this, but Larsson plays it safe. Larsson on the inside as they go into the brake zone, and Gorank plays it safe as well. He doesn't move as closely as he could because he doesn't really want to make an unnecessary touch there on Larsson and causing some trouble for both of them in the approach to the chicane. And now they're out again. And Kaukola actually has the best possible position for a racer, watching what is going on in front of his nose. They go down the straight again. Kaukola moving to the left a little, which causes a bit of a problem for Gorank, as he has to move left as well if he wants to stay in Larsson's slipstream. And absolutely perfect line by Christopher Larsson here, but Gorank also a brilliant line. Has a little bit more exit speed again. And they go up the hill again to Lausanne, and I presume if I was up at the Gorank, I would try something in the run-up now. He is very, very, very close indeed. In real life, you could sniff the petrol and the oil and the rubber there of Larsson. And now there's the attack by Kaukola on the inside, and he's into Larsson. He is actually hitting Larsson on the inside. He was trying to get past Gorank. He was losing his brake point just a little, and then he moves across the curbs into Larsson, and luckily, very, very luckily, Christopher Larsson can retire. The big question again is, what is the damage sustained to the suspension? What is the damage sustained to the car? But I think, if I see this right, yes indeed, Gorank does have some problems on his right front as well. So, in the luckiest of cases for Christopher Larsson, yes, he has sustained some damage, but also his closest adversary on the grid at this moment, Jocko Gorank, has sustained some damage in the right front. But here we see Larsson sliding wildly, and that is obviously due to some problems there with the rear of his BMW, and that's exactly where that Project D racer hit him. Kaukola saw his chance as both of the other racers approached Lausanne. He moved on the inside, he missed his brake point by just a little, and then he went into the side of the BMW here that is played by Christopher Larsson. And Christopher must have fairly jumped in his new race seat, which was all over our forum. Very professional gear this guy has, all the way down to these Momo racing gloves. And right now, actually, this incident has given him a little breathing space, and let's see how that plays out a few laps down. But I suppose to say we should leave these two to their own devices and do one of our rundowns so we can see where everybody is on the grid. So Kepler tells me we start our rundown at 11 at Christopher Larsson, and still being troubled there by Jocko Gorank in 12. And there we have the culprit, Gregory Kaukola, who really, it must have been, just missed his brake point by, I don't know what, like a fraction of a second, but it was enough to send him into a wild careening move there across the curbs and into Larsson's BMW. I think he really tried to limit the damage as much as possible. If I saw that correctly, he was in last millisecond, moving his Celine a little bit to the left to actually get between Gorank and Larsson and not hitting either of them too much. So very fair move there by Gregory Kaukola after he miscalculated the approach to Lausanne. In 14, Carl Dubois for the team DHR Apex. We saw a lot of action by them at Sugo, of all places in the rain. They really had their races figured out there. But this race here at Le Mans doesn't seem to suit the Aston Martin at all. It's only position number 14 for someone as quick as Carl Dubois must be just a little bit frustrating. In 15, Ricard Norgren for the Black Visor Motorsports. It's the green version with the green banner here of the Ultima. Our car jokingly called the Hobbit of racing on our STC forum after the race number 1. Then David Clark for the FlatOut Club. He's the sole survivor for this team, just like Christopher Larsson is, and he is in 16. So he obviously moved up some places from the grid from the very start of the race as well. In 17, the FlatOut in the new livery. That's Tom Ilsbrooks showing you the new Game Racer livery that they have contracted just before this race here, between last week and this race. And somebody's been pretty nimble and quick skinner in their team, and he did a really good job as well. Love that skin. In 18, it's our very own David Garcia, who we have heard will not attend the real-life Le Mans, but who is battling it out here, down to 18. He's the only surviving Black Rebels, and if I look at the overall points, it looks to me as if Danielsson Motorsport's Team 2, who have got 2 drivers in the top 10, will definitely get the 10 points they need to sneak past the Rebels and take away the podium position in the very last race. But David is putting up the fight of a lifetime to hinder them from doing that. Yuri Braham has retired from the race in position 19, so that's one of the DHR Apex cars that is out of the race. So Garcia actually, I think, is last man standing in 18, because I saw early on my screen that Hart Jones has also left the server. Yes, indeed, it's your very own in a PSR TV car, that is Jose, and here we are with Mike Simian, also showing us that nice new livery, and very, very, very safely indeed in position number 1. It's not exactly that's a boring race for him, because keeping those GTR Evos on the track at the speed that Simian shows is not boring at all, but there's nobody closely matching his speed in the virtual Vertigo tonight here at Le Mans in the STC Championship. Mike Simian, kudos to you, man. After a great victory at Donington, it looks as if you can do a second victory here in the STC series this year, which would be outstanding in its own, and puts you in the same category of racer that we find Roland Jensström in, or other of the very, very fast guys here on the track. So Mike Simian, brilliant race by him. I haven't seen a single flaw, a single spot of trouble. We haven't seen him a lot on the screen, but whenever I watched him, it was clean, it was fully in control, and it was ultra, ultra fast. In position number 2, Rami Kaukola. A flying fin here for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in their white livery. I really like the way these guys came up with 2 different liveries for the series, and actually had these stripes there on the left and right hand side of the car go all the way through, and then put them in either white here for Kaukola or in black for Christian Haba. Just as in the last race, Haba finds it difficult to keep up with the pace of Kaukola, but he's pretty close, isn't he? He's only 4 or 5 seconds down there and keeps a steady gap to Kaukola, so I think it's mainly a matter of staying in control here, not heating the tires too much, not using up the tires too much, because there's a huge gap behind him. And why on earth should he push to catch Rami? Because they're in the same team anyway, and it's only team points that matter in the STC. Then in 4, a superb race for the Danielsson Motorsport's Team 2 by Johan Peisula. Lights on in Le Mans fashion. He's in Arnage at the moment, coming out of the turn, and now onto another one of these long straights in between turns. And the second of the Danielsson Motorsports Team 2, Robin Johansson, is definitely not far behind. So they're in the same positions as the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, just controlling the race in their neck of the woods. And followed by big brother Roland Enström for the Danielsson Motorsports Team 1, who, even though he's such an outstanding player, doesn't really have a chance today with that Ford GT40 to do anything but stick to his 6th position, which he does brilliantly, and he has left behind the Porsches, which he had a huge battle with in the first quarter or the first third of the race, but he survived those battles and he is in 6th, and he's bringing, I think, home the overall team championship for the Danielsson Motorsports Team 1. In 7, Korkiakowski, another flying fin there. He was the one battling Enström earlier, and he hasn't totally lost contact to him, but the gap between them really is quite big, and unless Enström runs into some trouble, I don't think there's very much of a chance for Korkiakowski to catch up on him. I'd say the gap is about like 5 to 6 seconds. Another gap of the same size down to Johannes Norberg, who is obviously pushing the Ultima to its utmost limit here at Le Mans. And in position 8 is another great result for the Black Visors, another top 10. Fredrik Tuckman, second of the Danielsson Motorsports Virtual, and aren't these guys consistent? Not only do they usually get 2 ultra-fast guys on the track, they also get 2 ultra-fast guys into the finish and across the finish line, which gives them all those extra points and gives them this handsome 60-point leads in the championship. Fredrik Tuckman in 9. In 10, Ludovic Kugotti for the Project D. And he's gotten rid of Christopher Larsson, and he's gotten rid of Jocko Gorenk, so it's a safe and easy race for him all the way here, and I suppose that the Project D will actually send the Blue Flag Racing down to position number 9, exactly the same position we finished in last year, and we were so happy to be in 8, but I don't think we can put it off this year. Actually advancing 1 position, it'll be number 9 again for us. And Gregory Kugotti has gotten past Christopher Larsson, and we missed that in our rundown somewhere along the line. And so has Carl Dubois in 12, and the rundown goes on and on and on, because I want to see where that teammate of mine is. Richard Nordgren in 13, David Clark in 14, Tom Ilsbrooks in 15, and I'm getting a seriously bad feeling, guys. Jocko Gorenk with a totally banged up car in 16, and Christopher Larsson with a car that is not banged up, but he has obviously lost many. Oh, it is banged up indeed on the left hand side, but seriously, there must have been an incident between Jocko Gorenk and Christopher Larsson, because Larsson in 17 is now followed closely by David Garcia, who used to be a long way down, and Larsson stays out of the pits, so he might recover that position from Gorenk, but look at the way that BMW slides through the turns here. It's a pity we missed that incident, so no chance to comment on it, but the rundowns are of course important for teams to see where the players are, and Gorenk actually gets out of the pit stop before Larsson can catch him. So it is a real fight now for positions number 16, 17 and 18 as another player leaves the grid, which is Juri Braham, who we saw in the pits earlier on.
Rickard, do you think David will be able to catch your teammate and Jocko also?
Larsson, yes. Gorenk, no.
You have it pretty clear. You sound really sure.
Yeah, if I look at the lines of Christopher Larsson here, that is not the Christopher Larsson we know. That BMW is all over the place. The handling must be really awful, while Gorenk has been in the pits and obviously had a chance to repair his ride, so his handling should be a bit better in the long run. And Garcia now stalking Christopher Larsson, as you rightly point out. And if I look at the distance there, I would give him another 3 laps. But let's take a quick check on how far we have progressed in the race, how much time we have actually left. Well, it's only 11 minutes left. The lead in the front is 12 seconds from Simian to Kaukola, 5 seconds down Haba, and then the biggest gap on the grid, really 30 seconds down to Johansson, 6 seconds to Peisula, 2 seconds to Einström, 7 seconds to Korkiakowski, 4 seconds to Norberg, and then 9 seconds to Tuckman. And Larsson and Garcia are still in the lead lap, and the time differences here are Ilsbrooks in 15 at 3:03 away from the leader, and then Jocko Gorenk 35 seconds away from Ilsbrooks, so no chance of him catching up there. Larsson 5 seconds away from Gorenk, and Garcia only 2 seconds away from Larsson. And he has 10 minutes to go, so about 3 laps to go. And it's going to be interesting in the last laps, but watching these times here on the timing screen, the closest battle other than that is Richard Norgren against David Clark. That's the battle for 13 and 14, so I suppose she'll say this is where we're heading.
Okay.
7:14 for you, David Clark, for the FlatOut Club. As I said, the junior team of the FlatOut, and the junior teams have really proven a good thing for the series overall, haven't they? I should say it's been a very successful concept the last 2 seasons.
Yes, indeed, they helped in the first moments to feel the grid, and that they were always there, of course. But we need to talk about that with the teams in the future, not because there's something wrong with the concept, but because I think we will try to go back to the original 25 slots grid.
Yep.
So we have to think on how to reduce, but I mean, considering the teams themselves, I think they were total success, and they made a lot of benefit for STC, of course.
Yeah, it really brought a lot of color into the races, didn't it? Because sometimes these players were brash and young and trying to make moves that other people wouldn't dare to make, and there was always good action around where they were, and all in a good spirit there, no unfair racing, just taking a few more chances than the more experienced players would have. Right now, as I say this, David Clark is off there in the chicane, and that is of course not the kind of move I meant, and so that put Richard Norgren at a safe distance. And here is disaster part 2 for Blue Flag Racing. Christopher Larsson has decided to call it a day, so the Blue Flag Racing is out of the race for good, which means we'll probably lose position number 8 to the Project D, and we might even run into trouble with the DHR Apex, but they're 41 points down, only have 1 car on the grid, so no, we're safely away from them, and but it'll make us move down to 9. And congratulations to Project D. They've had also their ups and downs in the season, and they well deserve position number 8, which they've just taken away from us. And talking about next season, there'll be a big discussion over the summer, of course, to say. And as you said, it seems to be safer to go back to the original 25 players grid there, which would mean something like 20 to 21 slots for the teams. Looks like 10 teams times 2 players, doesn't it?
Yes, I think 11 teams and 2 players. Then we have, of course, your place, Ekat as commentator, PSR TV, and then the safety car that used to act also as a commentator. But I think it's something we have to do because reported from different places about to force the GTR Evolution to have more slots. It doesn't make the server go laggy, for instance. That was another problem that is solved, as you can see that today. But what it makes is different connection problems, like people dropping out or people not able to rejoin the server. And I think we really need to get rid of that for the next season. We need a really technically perfect season next year. So yeah, we have to talk with the teams, and we will make a first proposal tonight about idea for next season, and then start talking and start trying to try to have a perfect black cap.
Yeah, but we do have a lot of time over the summer, and we'll keep everybody updated on the forum about what's going on, so check that out. Yeah, season's winding down. I must say a few thank yous here at this point. A big thank you to Jon Westerlund of the Danielsson Motorsport for his really nice commentary on the STC homepage, where he did this little bit in advance of every race, just saying, okay, next race will be in this and that place, and so on. I really loved the one with the where he showed these palms on the beach, where we actually had a little gap between races, and he said, yeah, it's holiday time now for the STC, so Jon, keep that good work up. I think it's very much appreciated by everybody visiting the space, just as Andreas Hultgreen's race reports are. So Andreas, thank you for that. You did a great job all through the season. And another big thank you to all the team spokesmen. We've been bashing it out on the forum, but at the end of the day, everybody got together again, and all the conflicts, I think, at least from my view, were resolved in rather good spirits there. Of course, there is conflict. It's racing, even if it's even if it's sim racing. If it's racing, there's bound to be conflict, because these things just don't go off without conflict. But then again, at the end of the day, I think we all pulled back from the brink, really, and got back into the same boat and got the discussion going again, so that was usually quite alright. And who else to thank? Well, big thank you to the modders. And as I'm talking away, cameraman informs me we are on board with Mike Simian, so that gives you some nice images here of that superb track at Le Mans, and also of the great work of the modders. We have two modders, Gunther Rowe of New Zealand, modding the racers, and it's an exclusive mod. Thank you, Gunther. A big thank you again for that one. So you won't see it anywhere else, and also you won't get it anywhere else unless you get into one of the teams, and then you're not allowed to give it away to anybody else. It's top secret premium mod here, which I really like the idea of that one, the exclusive rights to the mod. And then we have some fantastically modded tracks by I think the guy's called Maxime Boutias, isn't he, from France? Did I spell that correctly?
Yes, that's correct, I think.
Sorry, not spelled but pronounced. And actually David Garcia, moving off the screen after problems in the chicane. So sorry, Monsieur Boutias, that I interfere here with thanking you. But that means that the Black Rebels, just like the Blue Flaggers, have lost both their rides tonight and can do nothing at all to defend against the teams actually in the position behind them, and will definitely move past. So it's the Danielsson Motorsport Virtual 2 who will take position number 3 in the overall standings, and it's Project 2 who will take place 8. But then I'm in the thank you lap. Thank you to all our viewers who've stayed with us here for the season, and hope you enjoyed the races. There were some really great fights out there, and as I always say, the visuals of GTR Evo, or Race On as it's called now, are just far superior to anything that R Factor can offer. I think people won't like to hear that, especially not the R-Factor crowd. It's a great game, R-Factor, really love it. And but just from a visual point of view, there's nothing like Race On, at least for me. And who else to thank? David Garcia for being a tireless pace car pace setter and co-commentator here and race director. Of course, the biggest thanks of all to Jose for keeping it all alive and well and doing some awesome camera work there. Well, I'm at the end of the thank you lap, and the players are nearly at the end of the race. It's only 1 minute for leading player Mike Simian, and let's see if he crosses the line in that 1 minute or not. Mike Simian in the Porsche turns now. And approaching the start and finish. And I wonder if this already means that the race will be over for him in a couple of seconds, or whether he will have to do another lap. Let's see, we all have to watch very, very closely for that little virtual guy with the checkered flag there. And we also have to watch for some crazy movements by his car once he's passed the line. So Mike Simian into the chicane, maybe, just maybe for the last time of the season, and just maybe he's on the way to a second win of the season. But I keep that excited voice back a little as he powers past. And it looks as if he has another lap to do. Yes, indeed. Timing screen tells me he's 13 seconds ahead of second position Rami Kaukola, but he has to do another lap. So say, is that so? Another perfect suggestion by you, Jose. We're with number 1, Mike Simian, and as he heads out onto the Unadier Straight for the last time in this season and also in this race, let's do a very quick rundown. Position number 2, well deserved for Rami Kaukola, the Flying Finn. He had a great if rather uneventful race once he got past that Danielsson Motorsport's 2 racer who was in position number 2 earlier on. Then Kaukola and Haba in 3, another perfect race by the Canadian racer for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. That's the podium for you. Robin Johansson for Danielsson Motorsport's Team 2 in 4, securing a massively good team result here, because Johan Peiselua is in 5 for the Danielssons, and Roland Enström, it seems to me, could actually get past at least one of the 2 races, but stays behind here because they've clinched the overall victory for sure, Danielsson Motorsports, where else the Team 2 need all the points they can get. Then Mikko Korkiakowski for the defending championships, PHRC Craft in 7. Johannes Norberg for the Black Visors in 8. Frederik Tuckman for the Danielsson Motorsports in 9. Ludovic Kogoti, first of the 2 brothers, in 10. So that's one intact family, though the racer of brother Gregory looks awfully bashed up. He must have lost it somewhere. Let's see if he goes into the pits. No, he decides to stay out because it's only 1 more lap. Richard Norgren, second of the Black Visors, in 12. David Clark of the FlatOut Club in 13. Thomas Brooks rounding up a really brilliant result for FlatOut in 14. Joko Gorenk with that banged up Porsche there can hardly keep it on the track with that right wheel there. It doesn't seem to move at all. And then that's the end of the grid for you. So 15 players still out there, bringing us back to position number 1. Mike Simian taking a great victory here at the end of a lousy season, not for him. His was in fact great. 2 wins to his credit. That's a lot of points for his team, and FlatOut really having a great last bit of the season here after a very disappointing start for them, with many problems that they had with the game, with the mod, with virtually everything that could go wrong for them went wrong in the first 3 races. They got close to 0 points there, and now Simian takes another well-deserved win for them. He's out of the Porsche turns for the last time. He approaches that double chicane for the last time. You can already see the pit buildings, and onto the brakes for the last time. Now chicane number 1, chicane number 2, and we do have a final winner in the final race of the STC, and there he is, Mike Simian, taking the win for the FlatOut. Congratulations to you, Mike. And the Roaring Pipes Maniacs guys do it team-wise. Possibly they've been on TeamSpeak. Yes, they go into this looks like real Le Mans racing, very slowly through the last turn. Kaukola in 2 and Haba in 3. And let's see what the Danielssons do. Oh, there was a change of positions for Danielsson Motorsport. There must have been some problem for Robin Johansson. Maybe he's got a fuel problem there and has to take it easy. So we have Johan Peisula in 4 for Danielsson Motorsports Team 2, followed by Roland Enström for Danielsson Motorsports Team 1, and they're going to race it all the way till the end, especially Johansson, who is across the line now and just in front of Mikko Korkiakoski, who finishes 7th, and Norberg finishes 8th. And this is Fredrik Tuckman on the last virtual meters of the season here. Securing another superb result for the Danielsson Motorsports. 4 racers in the top 10, just dig that. Ludovic Kugati in position number 10. A very successful weekend for the Kugati brothers and for Project D Racing, because here is Gregory Kugati with not a nice sight. Well, not the guy, of course, the virtual car here, completely smashed up both in the front and in the back, but he certainly brings it home, and that will take them past the blue flag and into position number 8 for next season. Position number 11. And it's David Clark still out on the track, and Joko Gorenk still out on the track. Those are the 2 last players out who have to finish the race here. David Clark for the FlatOut Club in position number 12. So within the first dozen, that's a brilliant result for the club. Let's have a quick check. It's the best result to date for them. So congratulations to the FlatOut Club here. A great race by David Clark. He's in 12, and he is through. And then Joko Gorenk, the last player on the grid, who is still in his Porsche and has to still finish this lap here, which is an awfully long lap, of course, at Le Mans. One way or the other, he brings that not really nice looking, banged up Porsche into the final chicane number 1, chicane number 2, out of the chicane for the last time now. Flashed that light man, no he doesn't, and that was it. That was the STC Blue Cup season for you. We have a team champion, and that is Danielsson Motorsport's Virtual Team 1, and we have an individual race winner tonight, and that is Mike Simian. So, I think it's time for the national anthem, Jose. Do you agree?
Exactly, Eckhart, in honor of race winners FlatOut.
Well then, final race of the season is over. As usual, a brief interview with the top three, and the congratulations, of course, go to our number one guy. That's Mike Simian. Another great race by you, Mike. How does it feel?
Oh, really good, mate. Yeah, it's brilliant to win the last race of the season. I'm really pleased.
Yeah, you've been the shining star of the end of the season. Did you plan that to kind of reserve your best performances for the finish?
No, not really, mate. I've just been pretty busy, so I had to leave it all for the last few races, and yeah, it's just worked out well for me, so I'm really pleased.
Brilliant, and that in the new skin, which leads us to the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. It feels good to be in a room with two maniacs, but you're two well-behaved maniacs. Rami, a quick view of the race from you.
My race was boring, so just driving.
Okie dokie, you had a bit of a fight in the first few laps, didn't you, with one of the Beamers?
Yes, Johan, yes, we waiting for the half race, and then something happened to him. I never see him after the pit.
Okay, and I suppose then Christian Haba, congratulations of course Rami for position number 2, and Christian, congratulations for position number 3. Must have been a boring race for you too then.
Yeah, it was. In the beginning I started out on hard tires, and that was a mistake on my part, so I couldn't keep pace, but afterwards I was able to put in some quick laps when I changed tires to softs. So yeah, after that it was just grinding out laps, making sure you're staying in third and just keep everything clean.
Well, Mike, something else you want to say about the race or your new deal with sponsor or everything to close these race interviews?
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to say thanks very much to GameRacer.co.uk. It's brilliant they're sponsoring us now, so it's a big step forward for us. And yeah, it's just going to seal our future really, and help us, keep going.
Thank you.
Off we are. Goodbye to Mike, goodbye to Christian, goodbye to Rami.
Yes, goodbye. Thank you, guys.
Goodbye, thank you.
Bye, guys.
And what a crowded place it is. What a crowded place it is. Danielsson Motorsport. Welcome everybody. Congratulations on the team championship and a superb race again today. How does it feel to be STC champions for the first time?
It feels absolutely on the blackout.
Yeah, it's great.
That was Roland Enström for you, and just for our viewers, what's the secret behind the success of Danielsson Motorsports? It's not only that you clinched the title, you've also clinched position number 3 for team number 2.
I think I can answer that the reason is that John Westlund, our team manager, is extremely dedicated to this team. He works so hard for all of us to have opportunities to practice, and he pushes us all the time, just to be better than we are really.
Yes, and you are. Maybe a voice from Team 2. How does it feel to be the bronze medalist, to actually take away third position from the Black Rebels in the last race of the season?
Well, as a driver in the green team, and perhaps I can answer that. It feels great. It's a lot more than we hoped for. We were, when the started of the season, we were thinking maybe if everything goes right. I'm so proud of everybody in the team, all the practice everybody has done, and everybody has tried so hard to keep all the technical stuff organized. We've only had one DNF throughout the entire season. That was one of the major Swedish ISPs lost routing to the world, and other than that, I'm quite happy right now actually.
So what's up for the next few weeks? Will the team actually meet in person and have a little celebration, maybe with a nice crate of Swedish beers somewhere out in the woods?
Yeah, we are thinking about having a get-together combined with the other parts of Danielsson Motorsport at the Swedish Touring Car event at Falkenberg Raceway in July. So, but until then, perhaps a bit fundraising and try to relax and not take everything so seriously.
Okie dokie. Well, if there's any more question, yes, Roland, go ahead.
I'd also like to add that today is John's birthday. So congratulations, John. This was our present to you.
Thank you, Roland. Tack ska ni ha allihopa.
Hip hip.
Hurrah!
Hurrah!
I think this calls for the first... That was bloody lame, boys. It calls for the first song on STC. Maybe we should try a little rendition here of Happy Birthday to You for Jon Westerlund and see if TeamSpeak can manage that. How about that? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Okay, it was horrible, but
That was horrible.
yeah, but the intention was there.
Yeah, right.
Let's wait for TeamSpeak 5 to sing in TeamSpeak.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
They've got their work cut out. Okay, Jose, maybe the closing words of the season belong to you. I'll shut up for now. It's goodbye from me, your friendly voice, and over to Jose for the last words of the season.
Well, I want to thank everybody, but overall I want to thank David, that I think is here now and can hear me.
Yes, good night.
Well, I think thanks to the teams and all the participants, but I would like David to close the season, really, because he made a lot of work for it too, and he was racing today, so he could not say anything during the broadcast. David, it's your turn.
Yes, well, I think it should be you closing the season. You are the head in the STC. Anyway, I will talk to say thanks Eckhart first for his test. Also Jan Westerlund and Andreas Hallgren helping us with the news. Really appreciated having some extra stuff, especially at seasons like the current one, when things are not easy. Also, I would like to thank Mikael Helen and the backup drivers of the safety car. And well, I am quite sure next STC season will at least as better as the last one, not as this one. And I am pretty sure it will be a very, very good season and very interesting as well.
So, congratulations, guys. Congratulations, Danielsson Motorsport. You really deserve this champion. And to close, just the Swedish anthem in your honor. And see you next season. Thank you very much for your compromise with the series.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.